If you hold a BAO, you need something to spend that token on.
How to understand the size of the BAO economy?
We have 4 co-founders.
Just over 600 ETH trading volume right now.
What are the next big milestones?
Make our community the best Web3 food community.
Hi everyone, I'm Yuri from Superdao, and today we'll talk about BAO Society, one of the most interesting NFT-based DAOs. It's related to Taiwanese culture and heritage and experience of members and holders of NFTs. We're gonna do a detailed look on kind of anatomy of an NFT-based project from inception, from the idea to artwork design and marketing and community building and launch. We learned how BAO Society made a sale close to $1 million in 12 hours and a few seconds, and get a lot of lessons and kind of detailed kind of tactics, how things are going. So lots of lessons. Hope you stay with us and subscribe for the channel for more episodes like this one. Welcome, Antonio, GP, DW. Thanks for spending time with us.
Yep, happy to be here.
Thanks for having us.
So let's start with an idea when you guys started working on the project, who started it, and what the initial elements you had at this day one.
I started this project back last year in November. The birth of it came from my curiosity on like what happens under the hood of an NFT project, because at that time NFTs were the talk of the town. And then in December is when JP and DW joined onto the team, and we started to kind of make our idea a little bit more concrete.
And my understanding is the idea was to start an NFT project, not trying to be too complex day one, kind of add details as you go. And the main idea was to honor the Asian and specifically Taiwanese heritage where you all guys from. And you quickly early on realized that it will be a profile-based collection. It will be based on the traditional food BAO, and the BAO-based character with different modifications will be the main character of the collection.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, initially it was out of curiosity, and then we came together as a team with very complementary skills, and we all are from Taiwan. We've grown up together, and so we wanted to pay homage to that.
Yeah, and so in terms of team size, so it's three of you, more like a founders, and then you got the artist as a contractor, you got the smart contract developer as a contractor or several. So how many total people were involved?
It's the three of us, and we have actually another co-founder that can't be with us today. She's pretty much involved with the design and art. So we have 4 co-founders. We have 1 to 2 3D artists with us throughout the project. And we have another smart contract that helps us with kind of the Web3 side of things. And that's pretty much the size of the team.
Have you found them through like just volunteers from the Discord, or have you recruited them? Were there any kind of job application process?
The community managers, some of them we met through other projects. We were fortunate enough to have Michaela, who was our sort of lead mod, hire her own team of mods, and that's how we kind of built the community side of things.
Basically a lucky personal connection with one person who then brought the rest.
Yeah, I think I would say a lucky personal connection with a couple who then brought their networks.
My understanding is that you guys went really crazy for the artwork that will show somewhere here on the screen, and so there was a iterative process. The initial concept was somewhat simple, or like resemble what the end result was, and then you add and modified. And my understanding is while you recruited and hired for the contract work the designer, there was a collaborative, iterative effort both on the base shape of the main character and the traits and the combinations. Any lessons along the way? How many months did it took?
I think finding the right artist for your project is extremely important. Kind of knowing what skill sets you'll need. So we had the big decision of deciding between a 2D and a 3D PFP. And we didn't want to cut any corners, and we were thinking long-term about entering the metaverse and having a 3D animation. That's why we went the 3D route. And when we did, we needed to find kind of right skill sets for that. So what I did was I basically went to Fiverr, Discord, different 3D communities, and just started to interview a bunch of 3D artists. So I was at one point probably talking to 10 artists at one time. And what I would do is ask them to give me a sample of use your creative juices and make me one sample and kind of see how they work and if their artistic vision aligns with ours. And typically working with artists, they need instructions. What we did was we kind of operated like a tech company where we would have sprints of, hey, in this week, we want to finish the base model. In the next week, we want to finish these one-of-one traits. You kind of give them like mini milestones, and and check in with them regularly to make sure the art is on par.
Let's go a little bit to the marketing. So my understanding is it's a funnel. So on top of the funnel is Twitter. This is where people discover the project for the first time. And then you invite people to Discord. And then at some point you do some sort of screening or application form or details where you try to distinguish between like serious buyers and bots and people in between. Was there also a landing page? So what was the stack? Who did it? Like how fast you went through that process?
We started building that up and slowly funneling people into our Discord. And once you're kind of in our Discord, I think we expect you to be either a more serious buyer or, more a closer part of our community. And I think we did a pretty good job of filtering for bots within Discord. I think we were purging the Discord every couple of weeks, making sure, first of all, for security reasons, sometimes bots are lurking in there and then they end up hacking your Discord, but also so that we could get a better sense of what size we need to sell out. And let's say if we have 15,000 people in our Discord and we want to sell out around 4,000 PFPs, like what percentage of those people might actually buy one? It was a little bit of that. And then, so yeah, like you said, top funnel, Twitter, and then bottom of funnel is the Discord, and then eventually the Mint.
You said basically your plan stabilized. You eventually decided that you're going to sell close to 4,000 NFTs. And then the price would be, it was defined in ETH price. At the time, the USD equivalent would be $250. And the total projected sales would be close to 1 million. Did you had a set sale, or you're like, hey, we grow community until we hit those numbers and then we announce the sale?
I wouldn't say it was a very hard deadline or a hard number that we wanted to hit. We had a number in mind. I think we announced the mint date maybe 2 to 3 weeks before it actually happened.
You guys were building, you are built on Ethereum directly, no Polygon, no scaling solutions. You used optimized smart contract for 721A. Like a substandard that is like a little faster, a little cheaper. You said you have a couple pre-sale rounds. So what were those? What was the difference? Why several pre-sale rounds?
The thinking there was we didn't want to oversubscribe our whitelist. We also wanted to have a good portion of our total supply be minted out after pre-sale, with the probability of potentially minting out total in pre-sale. But the key thing is we didn't want to oversubscribe. So the way we did it is we set it up into 3 distinct phases. The first phase is everybody on the whitelist can mint 1 BAO. And second phase is if you're on the whitelist and you can mint another additional BAO. And if there's anything left over, the third phase will be public sale. And essentially what happened is the first 12 hours, I'd say we minted about 2.8, 3,000-ish. After their first 12 hours, and then right when the second phase happened, we minted out in about 20 seconds.
So the mint happened on your personal website, right? So no OpenSea is just for the secondary. Yeah, okay. What was the story of price? So secondary sales after, is it a lot of secondary sales in BAO Society, a little? And what was the record price for the BAO so far, and where do they trade today?
The record price was around 3 ETH. It was a Pikachu BAO. And then I later found out it was actually one of my friend's friend who minted the 1 of 1 and ended up selling it. But yeah, I think that was the record. We have just over 600 ETH trading volume right now, and most of that was within the first week.
And I've heard that some famous people inquired or bought or hold or keep it. So how that came about completely organically, they reach out to you. Did they reach out before pre-sale? How that happens?
It was really exciting. During the first 4 to 5 hours of our pre-sale mint, we were in a big Telegram group with kind of NFT people who are interested in the Asian influence side. And we were just part of that group. And randomly, JJ Lin, who of Singaporean descent, but has a big following in Taiwan, reached out to one of our founders to ask if he was still able to mint a BAO. Obviously, he was super excited during mint. It was super hectic. Right after he minted it, he actually posted on his social media on Instagram, which has about 3 to 4 million followers. And it just really exponentially blew up from there, from after he posted that.
It's exponential blue in exposure, but people would probably didn't have enough time to join Discord, get whitelisted, and get access to pre-sale. So his followers can only go to the secondary market.
Right, but what it did help was it proved validation of the current whitelist members to actually take the action to buy.
To push them over the edge and to
exactly.
buy. Right. Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah, or buy a second one. Yeah.
Buy a second.
And then
one. Okay.
I think it drove secondary sales a lot too. So that first 2 to 3 days was a lot of transactions.
What kind of community communication was it? It was just Discord? Did you do any Zooms or live streams and to meet your new holders? Have you redirected any proceedings to Treasury, to like community programs? And like, what was the process after the sale?
But after reveal, I think we just took a step back and we obviously we looked at our finances and we allocated a big portion just kind of sitting there as a community wallet for visibility for everyone to be able to see transparently. And really we just, in terms of communication, we just did Twitter Spaces or Discord AMAs. But if there's one thing about our team is we're a team of builders and executors. And so we kind of just went straight into work on some of the roadmap items and some of the Web3 trends. So, I mean, almost immediately after Mint, we started going towards the staking, the marketplace, and, even till this day, we're still building out new features.
Okay, so let's talk about those. So you had like two pillars. One pillar was Asian culture. The second pillar was food. And so the idea was it's not just the cool and cute like profile picture collection that you can put on a profile as an NFT in Twitter. You can actually connect people through the shared interest to those two topics, the Asian heritage and food, maybe bring people in person, maybe host special events for the NFT holders. And then these, as you said, there are like, those are more like offline and more like physical. Let's maybe go first to the Web3 things and then go to the physical kind of utility ideas that you had. Talk about staking and marketplace. So what kind of staking, what kind of marketplace?
Staking is pretty standard. We wanted to introduce an internal utility token to our community. And I think this was a really big step for us because it gives us foundation in which, we're rewarding holders for holding or staking their BAOs with us, giving them incentive to hold and be a part of the community. And, the sky's the limit once you have a utility token in place. How it works is if you hold a BAO, you're also generating BAO tokens. But if you stake with us, then you get a higher yield. Right after that, with a token in place, you need something to spend that token on. And that's where we introduced our marketplace. And the marketplace focuses on three major categories, one being the allow list, whitelist spots for other partnered projects. We got some pretty cool whitelist spots and people can redeem those spots with their BAO tokens. Mm-hmm. We have merch, so you can buy merch with either your BAO tokens, or we also had the ability to use Ethereum to actually buy some of our merch. Mm-hmm. And the final is an experiences tab, which it could include food coupons, it could include a BAO NFT off the floor. It just basically is a surprise tab.
And is it implemented or is it in the progress?
Yeah, they're both live.
And is the token traded on Uniswap, or you can only get it through staking of the BAO?
It's not traded on Uniswap.
So people can earn it from you by staking or just holding the BAO, and then they can spend it on your marketplace. Can they transfer it between wallet to wallet, or like how is it a ERC20 token or is it something else?
Yeah, it's a ERC20 token, so it's transferable.
Any interesting metrics or lessons along the way? I don't know how many transactions happened on the marketplace or who we spend the most, or like how to understand the size of the BAO economy.
I think when we launched the marketplace, everything sold out in a couple hours. Certainly learned a lot along the ways about having a scalable solution or system in place. For example, with the whitelist spot, is it on a Solana chain? Do we need to collect their Solana addresses, or is it ETH address? Once we do, how do we process these orders? How do we communicate that, hey, we've sent over your information to these partner projects, so don't worry. And then, just having all that system in place that, we can work fast on.
Okay, got it. Let's go to the real world, the offline, off-chain experiences that you guys invented for your members. What were the initiatives there?
I think in-person part was a big part of the project, at least pre-mint. And over time, we realized it might be a somewhat difficult challenge. Now that we have the demand, how do we actually get the supply on the other side, right? And initially we had some meetings with some very, really big food chains that would fit our ethos of the brand. And some of them said no. A lot of them was just not interested in jumping in the Web3 space initially. And I think that totally makes sense, which is why for our first collab, we actually worked with Bored and Hungry, who is a Bored Ape themed restaurant in Long Beach, essentially. And we basically rented out that entire venue. They curated a special BAO burger. It sounds crazy, but it was actually a really, really tasty burger. We had about 50 people come out from LA just to meet us for our first event post-mint, and it was actually a really good event.
What's your long-term view here? Do you see more in-person events in the future, or is it too hard to do, or like maybe once a year, once a quarter? So what's the plan here?
I think, I don't want to say like a specific duration, but like maybe once a quarter makes sense, but I don't think it's a very self-sustaining long-term vision. It's not very like self-sustaining, to your point, which is why like internally we spoke a lot about this, and we were thinking of more long-term solutions. For example, how can we make our community the best Web3 food community? And what does that mean? Is that more blog posts? Is that more Yelp elites and built internally? Can people be recommending food internally as a specific group within? I think that's the angle we want to go, which has a better long-term vision than trying to sell to restaurants to have discounts, etc.
What are the biggest things that they are most excited for the next, I don't know, three to 12 months down the road? So what are the next big milestones?
We think in a way that our main goal is that the community can run itself, and it's a self-sustaining community. And what we do is we facilitate and create tools for them to feel that empowerment. And I think Marketplace is definitely a good first step, where there's a system where we can hand it off to the community. Hey, one collab manager can update all these rewards and prizes. Being food themed and very tech driven, we have ideas on a very community-driven, self-sustaining kind of product that we're looking forward to launching. And on top of that, also continuing to just host in real-life events. I think nothing can go wrong with that.
Sounds good. And maybe let's talk a little bit about your community infrastructure. So you say you have started experimenting with in-person events, you have AMA on Twitter Spaces and Discord. Anything around contributor roles? Have you recruited any members or BAO holders to any specific roles within the organization?
This is something that we're just beginning to do, kind of, I don't want to say let go of the reins, but bring the community in, have them make more decisions. And if that means you creating a DAO and having people vote on certain proposals, that's also a possibility. But yeah, I think this is something we've been brainstorming, especially, the last couple of weeks as a team.
Basically, your DAO adventure is just starting out right now.
Yes.
All right. We went through the story of BAO Society from the original idea to post-sale and building a DAO, in-person events and marketplace and token on top of the NFT collection. We can't wait to see where it goes, and hopefully maybe do another episode in a year or two and see the next adventures, the next results, the next lessons. Thanks you guys for stopping by, and thanks everyone for listening. Please keep following our channel for more episodes like this one. Until the next one. Bye.
Thanks so much, Yuri.
Thank you, everyone.